Welcome back, space friends, for match 3 of day 2 of the prelims. For your listening pleasure, we have again Ravy, the all-knowing spaceship master, and myself, his humble apprentice, Zastro. For this match, we have one relatively small alliance that I believe is made up of Portuguese-speaking corps, that's Tribal Conclave, going up against an alliance often seen around Losec, the Shadow Cartel. So what do you see here, Ravy?
Well, there's two teams that I'm honestly not incredibly impressed with. What we've got coming out of this is the Tribal Conclave team, is a Sleipnir, Scimitar, Blackbird, Rupture, and two Sabers.
So far, the Proteus-based teams have not done too well in the tournament, so I'm inclined against them going in, but both of these setups are different enough that I think a lot of it's just going to come down to individual piloting skill in this match.
Both of these setups are, I think, close to being very good setups. The Proteus team, with the two Proteuses and Neros, two Tyrannuses, would be much better if you swap those two Tyrannuses for two Incursuses. And meanwhile, the Sleipnir team...
Wow, we just lost the Proteus already.
Incredibly fast. I'm amazed that ship went down so quickly. Proteuses usually have more tank than that. The combination of the Sleipnir and the Rupture do quite a bit of DPS, especially with the Sabers to back them up. But yeah, that is a huge amount of damage fast. We're seeing a shield tank in a Neros for Shadow Cartel, likely an ancillary shield boosted in Neros. That's been popular so far and very effective. But with one of the Proteuses already down, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it back.
No, that Proteus, losing that Proteus that early is too big of a hit to Shadow Cartel's overall lineup. I don't think they can come back from that. Tribal Conclave only lost one Saber, which is to be expected. Sabers are so crunchy, they die quickly.
On the other hand, Shadow Cartel just lost another Saber and another Rupture. So
wow, this is actually going back and forth. This could be the most back and forth of any of the matches that I've seen so far in the prelims.
Tribal Conclave lost those two ships. Rupture,
right.
So yeah.
At least Tribal Conclave with a Sleipnir, a Scimitar, and a Blackbird, and Shadow Cartel with a Proteus and a Neros and two Tyrannuses.
That super tanking in Neros may be the hero ship of this fight. The fact that Tribal Conclave is putting everything they have into it, and it's still holding on, is allowing the rest of his team to pull back and start to get this fight in hand.
Do you think that they should continue going after him since he's obviously able to tank all the DPS they're throwing at him so far?
I think they really need to. Once you've started on him, if you can get to the point where he runs out of those cap boosters, he'll drop very quickly. The trick is to do it without him being able to pull away from you. If that Aneros can get range, get far enough away where it can reload his boosters, then come back into rep, then it'll be in great shape.
It does seem like one of the Tyrannuses has switched up and he's going after that Blackbird now.
It looks like that Aneros has run out of boosters. He's down into structure now. However, he's pulled range. The only damage on him right now is some attack drones, some Valks, and he does have a smart bomb, which is interesting, not too common on a Neros, but in this case it's going to be helping him a lot. If he can take down those Valks before they finish off the last of his structure, which he's down to very, very... Oh, he's dead.
Oh, there he goes. Couldn't tank the drones. With that, Tribal Conclaves, I think, going to wrap this up now. They still have their logistics alive, and that Sleipnir's got more than enough DPS to clean up what's on the field.
Now that Sleipnir is taking a lot of damage. It's about half shield, but still, the fact that they've got the Simi still alive, and the fact they have the Blackbird, which we haven't talked too much about, but is going to get more effective as there's fewer and fewer ships left in the fight.
Ironically enough, I think that Blackbird has been jammed several times so far.
Yeah, the Blackbird's an interesting choice. I think in general, teams are going to be better off with a Kitsune for the lower number of points. At the moment, yeah, the Blackbird is just sitting there getting jammed a lot of the time by ECM drones. We'll see how effective they actually are in keeping it jammed. But
well, since Tribal Conclave has a shield-repping logistics ship, the Blackbird could always be a crazy, like, 5-slot shield tank bait ship.
It is very possible. Although we are seeing jam effects on the Tyrannuses, so he at least has some jammers.
Right. And the Proteus is an armor, not too much damage being done to anybody on the Tribal Conclave so far. It's just a matter of time until Shadow Cartel is eaten up. Right now, again, another Proteus-based team has failed to get much done in the tournament so far.
This Proteus team is really, I think, the weaker equivalent of the Sleipnir team that we saw early on in the first day. The Sleipnirs with two Sabers, but honestly, that isn't as good as the triple Tech 1 frigate version of it, and this I don't think is even as good as the Sabers. You really need to be able to take advantage of getting all of the ships you can into the fight, and with those great Tech 1 frigates like Incursus available, there's no reason not to.
Absolutely agree. The Tech 1 frigates are so good since the most recent changes. There's no reason not to trim 2 points from your lineup somewhere to cram another Tech 1 frigate in there.
This Proteus for Shadow Cartel is surviving quite long, as we see a Tyrannus go down quickly. Is surviving quite well, but I think it's just a matter of time. It's amazing that he's taking so long to kill, but that first Proteus went down so fast. I wonder if he didn't have his hardeners on.
Yeah, that Proteus went down so fast wasn't even looking at him and even see what happened. It was just 1 second he was there and 1 second he wasn't. At first I almost thought that it was a boundary violation or something, but he's right in the middle of the arena, so he
Both
just got shot.
In their DPS to essentially 0 on the beacon, to I think within 10. So they were all very close to each other, but still, he went down incredibly fast. It's possible also that he was a different fit. Perhaps he was set with a bunch of mag stabs for full DPS, and this other Proteus was intended to be the bait. But
it's possible. I think generally people have a tendency to, if there's the same type of ship, they'll start higher in alphabetical order. That's just the way their overviews lined up, and it seems like it's the A-named Proteus that's surviving here. Maybe they were gambling that their A-named Proteus would be the tank one, and their lower in alphabetical order named Proteus was a DPS Proteus. I don't know.
It's very possible. What likely happened in this case, though, is that the one Proteus was slightly closer to the opposing team than the other due to the randomness of the warp-in, and that's what sealed his fate. So they probably should have relied more on that and had the less tanked Proteus warp in at 5 kilometers further away if they wanted to do that. We're seeing the remaining Proteus is right on top of that Blackbird. He's taking giant chunks out of his shield, but that Blackbird's getting repped up very well. He is
Proteus
actually
does admirable DPS, but with the logistic ship still alive, I don't think the Blackbird's really in too much danger.
Yeah, we are seeing, actually, I just saw shield boost effect. That is a locally tanked Blackbird. It's possible that he is bait. Maybe he has 1 jammer, 2 jammers, and then a full shield tank with an ancillary shield booster. But I definitely saw a shield boost effect on him.
Well, it's got 6 mids, and in these 6v6 tournaments, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of targets that you're going to want to be jamming anyways. I think it's a safer bet to put a shield tank on your Blackbird and then just a couple jammers than to make what we see on Tranquility more often, which is a full row of jammers. It just makes you too crunchy in these environments.
Yeah, well, the tank isn't going to keep him alive now. He's dropping the structure. Oh, maybe it will, because the Proteus died right before him. This hero Blackbird has survived, it looks like, in structure, and all there is the one Tyrannus left.
Well, it's possible that Tyrannus could take him down just to get his team 8 more points. Tyrannuses do have good DPS, but nah, he's dying too fast. He's not going to get it.
And the Blackbird's already back up to full shields. I did see a shield boost effect on him, so that is a very creative use of a Blackbird. Combining the rep from the Scimitar with the rep of an ancillary shield booster means that it can have a ridiculously strong tank, and if they're going to focus on it, then that draws their attention away from these weak or more fragile ships on your team.
And that will do it. Tribal Conclave with a strong victory over Shadow Cartel, 50 points to 14, and that does it for match 3. We'll turn you guys back over. See you in 10 minutes.